welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're going to do the Lemoyne Star. Now, there's two bits in here. We're going to do it Y seam style, but I'm also going to show you how to cut those 45-degree diamonds that are in the middle. Now, I didn't go real scrappy with this. If I was going to put this in a quilt, each block would be different, but I don't know how many times I tried to cut these diamonds. So I'm going to show you how to do the diamonds, and then we're going to show you how to do the Y seams, right? Just so that everybody's on the same page. Now, before we do any of this, I need you guys to go check out Siam at Sewciopath. Now, her link is going to be in the show notes below, and it looks like she's going to have a lot of fun on her channel. So when you do go over there and check her out, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, and hopefully if you like what you see there, you can share, like, and subscribe with your friends. Also, share, like, and subscribe with your friends our channel, because we're looking at the analytics and over half of you still aren't watching or still aren't subscribed. So that's okay. I mean, we're happy that you're watching, but it would help us out a lot if you subscribe to us. The last thing I'm going to talk to you about is our Facebook group. We have making use of the virtual rooms there, and there's a sew date 24/7, 365 days a year, and we also have the Zoom link for our monthly sew dates. So you can also check how many dates are in there. Like, we have dates lined up right till December, so you can put that on your calendar and come join us and sew. So before we go any further, let's get to the sewing. Okay, we're back at the sewing machine. This is the Lemoyne Star that we're going to do. Now, I'm going to let you look at this layout for a bit, right? You've got like your 4 corners, your 4 inset triangles, and then 8 45-degree diamonds, right? Now, when I was doing this, I am going to show you how to do the Y seam. When I was doing this, I had just a devil of a time wrapping my head around making the diamonds. Now I'm going to do 2 of these today, so that's why I've got 2 set up. So now I'm going to just show you how to cut them. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a point along this line, this 45-degree line. Oops, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to cut it this way because I don't want to cut myself again. I'm going to take a point along this line. Now, this is just a real rough scrap, but it should be kind of cute. And we're going to make the best of this today. And so I've got my 45-degree line right across, right? And I make my cut. Now, I'm not going to have any, I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to pull it back just a hair so I don't have any weird raw edge thing all of a sudden. Now, I have secured this with a pin, so my thing is not moving, right? Now, from here, I've got my 45-degree angle, and I can cut a 3-inch diamond out of here, right? And I probably will not have any problems, right, with a 3-inch diamond, because from here to here is 3 inches, right? Like across, this is like a 3-inch strip. Now, from 3 inches from here to here, it's going to give me the right size. So I'm just going to cut this, okay? So, from here to here is 3 inches, and from here to here is 3 inches, right? But this, you need a lot more than just like a 4.5-inch square. This is like 4 1/4 or something. But in order to make this work, you're going to need a piece that's almost, let's see, 7.5 long, right? So it's about 7.5 inches long that you're going to need just to cut a diamond, right? So this is why this is a little bit harder. Now, can I cut the second diamond? Yes, I could. But I want to make a different color, so I'm just going to put this stuff to the side. So there's my 4, because I did 4 at a time. And I'm just going to show you one more time. You take your ruler. Now this is longer than 7.5 inches, right? This is a 9-inch piece. So you take your ruler, you find your 45-degree from point to point, right? Like you find that line, and you just line it up nice and neat along that 45-degree line. Then you cut. You make your first cut, right? That's where the money cut is. Then you flip it and do a 3-inch cut, because this is 3-inch here from here to here, and now you do 3-inch from here to here, right? So now you have a 45-degree diamond, and you can even put this on the 45-degree line if you want. You're going to end up with this perfect little diamond. There we go. So now I have 4 of these. You could do all scrappy if you want. You could do anything you want, but I thought, now this would look kind of cool. And I do have some yellowish, pale yellow, so this would be like my pale medium dark, right? So I'm going to make another one of these, but let's get to the sewing to the one I have laid out. Okay, now that you know how to cut them, because the next part of the Lemoyne Star is knowing how to sew them, right? Now, what some people do is they take it in quadrants, right? They do it all in quadrants. So what they do is they do this angle first. They'll do all of the 4s together. Just a minute. Let's get all the 4 pieces together. And they just run their, they do all of the 4. They do it in quadrants. They break it down into quadrants, right? And they just run them right up behind each other. Now, in the pattern instructions, I think I'm going to leave you 3 different sizes, just because, and when you're doing a Y seam, it's easier to do a Y seam on a bigger piece than it is a little piece. So, but I did leave it in like 3 different sizes. So this is the 12-inch size, right? So this will give you a bigger block. A bigger block to play with. Okay. So now we got all of these sewn. We start doing our little piecing. And the easiest way to do this is to put the square on. Right, so we're just going to open it up and flatten it. Just like that. Right, we're going to take this and press open that seam. Yes, all the modern quilters will say, oh no, just press over. No, sometimes you need to press open. Sometimes you just need to press open. And I'll show you why here in a sec. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a centerpiece here. Now, I've got this lined up, and I'm going to line up this way first, and then I'm going to line up this way. Now, I only want a 1/4 inch, right? So, I'm going to make sure I overlap this by about a 1/4 inch, right? Now, can you see that? Okay. So, when I'm lining it up, I'm lining up this line first, and then I want this to have a 1/4 inch overlap, right? Okay, makes sense? Okay, let's run this through. And I'm running it through with the bigger piece on the bottom, and I'm going to run it through right until I get to that seam line. Oh, yeah, I missed it. Whoops, let's hold it back there. Okay. See, I don't want to do this today. Yeah, I have fibromyalgia, and some days it's easier than others. So let's take this. Now the needle is down, and I'm going to just pivot this baby around so that I can sew it. And now, without struggling too much, what have I done? I'm just going to take a quick look. Oh, that's what I've done. Alright, let's start over. We need to start over. We need to start this over. It's okay. So, every once in a while you have to start over, and that's fine. We just take this out the best we can, and we deal with it. Okay, there. I have to unpick the seam, because what happened is I did not leave a 1/4 inch over the seam. So I need a little bit more to over than normal, because yeah, we're having one of those days. It's one of those days. And if you ever have days like that where it's not a good day to do partial seam, don't do partial seams, or don't do Y seams, because yeah, you don't need to. Nobody needs that kind of stress in their life. If you have a good day and you can do a Y seam, go for it, by all means. Okay, now I just pull along here until, yes, we can take our stitch ripper and do this too, but sometimes your stitch ripper damages your cloth, or all this is going to do is wrinkle it, right? I mean, and you can work with a wrinkly piece. So, and now what the other things that people do is they also mark the seam with a dot as to where they have to turn. So I would be marking and pinning, and I mean we can mark and pin. We'll mark and pin so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Marking and pinning sometimes is your best friend. You know, because sometimes you can get through something a lot quicker if you just pin it and get it over with. But, and I'm not opposed to pinning, I just find sometimes it slows me down. So let's start this again. So I've pressed open, right? But I need to line this up, and I'm going to take the same piece of fabric and I'm going to line it up so that I am like a 1/4 inch past that seam line. So when I go like that, I have just a 1/4 inch. So that's where I'm going to line up, right? Oops, I should show you a little closer. Hello, there. So here's my seam line and here's my 1/4 inch. So I have to pull this down just a bit more, okay, just to make the end. So that's okay, and we can do that. So that's what we're going to do. I was promising to pin, wasn't I? Okay. You know what? I'm just going to wing it and go. And we'll pin the next one. We'll pin the next one so we know where it is. Now, I'm on, with this one, I'm on the straight of grain, which is where I want to be. And I'm going to pivot right where the seam line is. Now I still have a good 1/4 inch underneath there, so that's good. And now I'm just going to turn this so it faces me this way. And I'm going to spin this around. And sometimes you have to give a little wiggle or managing or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And you just want to get all of that excess fabric out from underneath your seam, right? There we go. And now we're moving. Let's do it again, but this time we will pin. We will pin. Okay, so this is the good side and the good side. So now you want to go, not a 1/4 inch, but like you want to have a good 1/4 inch past the seam line, right? Right there. Okay, because you got to pivot right there. Okay, if you were to draw this out on with a ruler and all this stuff, so I'm going to go to the white. You want to go there, and you want to go there. I'm just going to draw a quick little X marks the spot, right? So you see that X? No, you don't. Of course not. It's too far away. So X marks that spot. I've just measured in a 1/4 inch in all directions. Okay? So now what you would do is you would take the middle of your seam about a 1/4 inch down, and you could measure this down, you know, like, okay, this is 1/4 from this direction. Yes, it is. And it's 1/4 from this direction. Yes, it is. So from this point to this point here, I'm going to keep missing that little point, right? That's where you're aiming. Now, this is where you would turn. Now you could do this, you know, then you could see, I'm sewing it where I don't see my X, but that's essentially where it's going to act. Because what I'm looking for is where does my seam cross? Where is my seam crossing? Right, so I don't need to be marking all this stuff. And I just hit my needle, good to go. And I'm just going to get this out of the way to show you what that Y seam looks like. So now here's my Y seam. I'm going to just press it this way, flat, or as far as I can get it. And there's my Y seam from the last one. I'm going to put that one up out of the way. And now we're going to do the same thing. Oops, my foot fell off because of the vibration. So I'm going to pull this so it's here, and then I'm going to maneuver all of this around and get this as far as I can. Now I'm going to give this a gentle little, you know, a little gentle smooshing, because this sometimes gets a little bulky. Okay, just like that. There we go. So let's do the other two, the last two. And yes, we will mark the seam. Now I'll show you how to do this from the top. How's that? And then you can see what I'm looking at. Then you can see how it's done one way and then it's done a different way. But it's up to you how you want to do this. Is you're sewing, and if it doesn't make sense to you to do it this way, don't. It's real simple. Okay, now I'm going to do another 1/4 inch. I'm just marking it with my pen, a fine little pen right there. You see this X? X marks the spot. Okay, this time we're going to sew it with, oops, this on top. Okay, so X marks the spot. You line up on the one side. You line up on this side, because we're going to go down through the thing like this. And you put this X right on your seam, right where you popped open your seam, once it follows that. So you got to line everything up first. So you line this up first, and then you line this, and it's right through the middle of that seam. Yes, it is. So you pin it in place, just like that, right? So now you have it, not only is it marked, oops, not only is it marked, you've got like a little pin in place. There, now. So this is the one where I showed you how to mark them if you choose to do it that way. Now, and we got little thread everywhere, so I'm going to smoosh this out. There we go. And there's a wee tiny little wobble, and the wobble will be taken out by a good ironing. So there we are. Those are two. This is done yet a different way. You pick a way that makes sense to you, right? Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to put this line here, and you're going to roll this all the way around. Okay, roll all the way around, and I'm going to make sure there's no stuff underneath here. There's no bulk that's unnecessary. Here we go. And you're just going to finish your seam. There. Okay, now, the last one. I still prefer my method, but, you know, that's me. So I'm going to take it like this. Make sure I've got enough over. I'm just going to fold over a 1/4 inch to make sure I've got good coverage. Yes, I do. There we go. And there we go. There. So there's the last one, how it looks. Oh, I got a piece of fabric in the middle of all that. Okay. There. Let me just flatten this out from the back. Here. Ugh. And every once in a while it becomes stubborn. And you just, sometimes you just gotta get in there and pull out to make your square. Oh, I know what's happened. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh. There. So that's what that looks like there. Oops, I got more thread. Okay. So, last but not least, let's get this one done. Okay. There. Give it a spin. Well, something's gone awry. Why is that not working? There we go. Now, okay, now that we've got all of those off, right? What we're going to do is we're going to put the triangles in. Okay, I'm just going to flatten this out good. So now we're going to do the triangles. And basically what the triangles do is you're putting in this piece here, but we need this sewn together first. We need these parts sewn together first, so we're going to do that. Now if you were hand sewing this, the Y seams are not a challenge. Right, that's the huge advantage over Y seams. People just like, yeah, Y seams? No, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. And let's do this one. This one. Okay. There. Okay, now we'll get this one here done. And we'll show you how to do that one. Because it's the same thing. Basically, you press open. See, once you press open here, you can kind of see where there's bulk and there's little dog ears. And you can just clip all of that away. You know, just to reduce the bulk in your block. Okay, so let's get this one. So here we are. Like I say, I prefer, oops, wrong way. I prefer where I'm going to go this way in, and I want to position this so I have a good 1/4 inch over. So I'm just going to fold back a eyeballed 1/4 inch, just so I'm laying it down in the right spot. Okay, and I've got started on the wrong side. Oh no! Okay, so let's go back to this. Let's make sure we got a good 1/4 inch. Yes, we do. Okay, let's start here. There we go. And oops, there. Okay. Yeah, Lemoyne Stars are nice. Some people, what they do is they take this setting triangle, this triangle, and they make it just a regular triangle. And that way then it's just a triangle and you're sewing your quadrants together. It's a little easier. They did piece it this way though. Traditionally they pieced it this way. Just because it was easier, because they were looking at different piecing, right? Size pieces. Okay. And sometimes their pieces didn't matter how they did this, it was going to be on a bias, so they, you know, they tried their best. And you want to get that as flat as you can. Okay, here we go. Oops, there. There we go. Now, I'll do the same thing here. Oops, I need to go. Okay, let's try. This is the right way. There we go. 1/2 inch. There we go. Take it down 1/2 inch. There we go. Nice. Okay, so now we're pressing the seam out on here. Make sure it gets nice and flat. Right, just like so. And too much junk out here right now. Okay. Okay. My husband keeps coming in here and I'm wondering why. Okay. Okay, now here's where you would need a leader ender, and I don't have one right now, so I'm just going to pull that out. And because the vibration, right, my foot, the feet keep coming off my machine because of the vibrations. Okay, so I'm going to put these two together so I can get the last two triangles on. And you just line it up, make it happen. Okay. Get the 1/4 inch in there. Nice. Get this end, and I want, oh, let's get all the dog ears off first here. Hang on. Okay, here, get that and this all out of the way. There. Last thing we want is all those dog ears. Now, when you're doing this, all of this is pressed open, right? So you don't have a nesting area. So what you're going to do is you're going to push through and you're going to line up your center. Okay, you're going to line up one center with the other center. Okay. And here it is. There. And then you're going to just hold it and tip it. You're not putting the needle through the second area of cloth, because that might end up with a ripple. And we don't want ripples, we just want other things. Now there's some people that believe that you would sew to the middle of a Lemoyne Star and stop. And then sew to the stop, come out, do the other side. I see where they're coming from with that, because you can stretch this very easily, because half the sides of your diamond are on bias, yes. It's a block that, you know, yeah, you can make a mess of it very quickly. So let's get the last two stars on. Now, if I was, let's see, okay, I would press this open at the back, but because I've pinned it, I know it would make easier to see if you saw this in like a bunch of different colors. Where I've pinned it, I am not less than a needle, like a sewing needle width away from where I missed it. I'm not quite perfect, but you can't tell because this is a busier print and it's all the same color. Now, even if this was a scrappy print and scrappy diamonds, you know, you'd be hard pressed to tell this is off, right? So, you know, like all of these are lining up pretty good, you know, but anyways, okay, let's get the last two triangles on. And, okay. Okay, give that quick little press over a 1/4 inch. Okay, here we go. Line that up. Sometimes you can line up the wings, right? The little dog ears on the edge. That sometimes is very helpful too. Oops, let's press this open. Because that won't, otherwise I won't know where to stop. Yeah. Okay, let's go here. Okay. Okay, here we go. And swing it this way. Okay. Swing your triangle this way. Get everything that line nice and flat. Okay. Now, I see when it's like that, you kind of have to wiggle this just to get all the excess fabric out from underneath your needle, your needle in your foot. And last setting triangle. Ugh, and my foot comes off yet again. Okay, last one. Oh, let me just finger press this nice and flat so it looks like something. Okay, and the last one. There. Oops. There we go. There we go. And we get to the center of that seam so I can see where I need to pivot. Okay. Now we grab underneath, we grab the triangle first, and we try and get that straight and flat as we can. And then we grab the top and try and get that straight and flat. And every once in a while, and this is just one of these things, you know, it just refuses to lie flat under your foot. So you're kind of like, okay, let's maneuver this just a little bit more. And you put your foot down, and okay, and with that, we get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our Lemoyne Star. Now, I have pressed open all the seams in the back, so this is what it's going to look like on the back. And I've pressed in where the white is. So basically, I'm pressing to the dark, or the low volume, on the outside low volume. This was interesting to do, trying to do it all by piecing, like, you know, Y seams and that. A lot of people, what they do is they cut these triangles bigger, or the square bigger, and then they, you know, cut 4 at a time. So this becomes half square triangles, and then once they get the square on, they just make, it like into a 4 patch, right? So once this is all sewn, this quarter here is all sewn, right? Then they've got, you know, basically these are just half square triangles. Another way that they do this as well is they've got this, and then they cut them like that, so they avoid all the Y seams altogether. It's your choice as to how you want to do your block, but I've given you cutting instructions for this, and then I believe it's an 8 and a 6, so you have some choices on what you want to try. If you want to practice Y seams, they're easier to do on a bigger block, so that's where I'm going to leave you. So I hope you have an absolutely amazing week ahead. And until we meet again, take care. Bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our quilting journey and the YouTube adventure that we're on. We have some wonderful plans for 2023. And it includes a lot more, like with the Facebook group and the rooms feature and sewing and hanging out with people. Those monthly Zoom sew dates are still in the works. We have a lot of fun ideas coming up for 2023, and we hope you share, like, and subscribe with your friends. That little notification button and subscribing to us really helps us out. Commenting helps us out too. So if you like what you're seeing, let us know. Even send us a heart on the comment. That helps so much for us. Okay, you have an absolutely fabulous 2023, and all of our best wishes for you in the future. Okay, take care. Bye.